Right now at 10, the latest on the situation that caused a lockdown at St. Edward's University.
The White House denying a new claim tonight that ex-FBI Director James Comey left a paper trail against the administration.
New protocols for teachers in AISD after a series of sexual assault allegations.
I am fully aware of the weirdness of this situation.
Plus, it sparked a firestorm online. A man suing his date for the price of a movie ticket. The Nightbeat starts now.
Good evening, everyone. Let's take a live look at the backup on Mopac near Enfield Road with one of our TxDOT cameras. That is a whole lot of traffic. And on top of the usual morning commute traffic tomorrow, you're going to need the windshield wipers. I'm here with Chief Meteorologist Albert Ramon in the Storm Center. Albert, it's not going to be a pretty commute tomorrow, is it?
Rain plus construction on Mopac plus normal rush hour in the morning. Yeah, it's going to be a little on the messy side. The severe threat is pretty small, though. What we're keeping an eye on is this developing storm system out in West Texas. You see that yellow? That is a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 3 a.m. Already active severe thunderstorm warnings, mainly just off towards the west of San Angelo and to the east of Midland. A lot of the action this evening has been in parts of the Panhandle and western Oklahoma. Reports of a lot of damage to homes in Elk City, Oklahoma, some of which have collapsed. It sounds like everyone there has been accounted for. That's Elk City, Oklahoma. Back here at home, thunderstorms for the morning commute. Will be quiet in the afternoon. Another round of storms Thursday evening. A break Friday, and then those thunderstorm chances return up to 60% by Saturday. Pretty active weather pattern the next several days. We'll talk much more about this in depth coming up.
Thanks, Albert. Tonight, a lockdown lifted at St. Edward's University after a robbery there nearby. The Nightbeat's Jason Puckett joins us now with the latest on the alert that forced students to stay indoors.
Hey guys, the situation that eventually led to that lockdown on St. Edward's campus started right here in this alleyway outside a shopping center off Ben White and I-35. Now, APD hasn't told us much about what happened here other than that saying that those involved in an aggravated robbery then took off on foot towards the campus. Earlier today, an APD chopper could be seen circling the area north of this shopping center all the way up to St. Edward's University. Now, the school did shut down and ask all students to stay indoors, but an APD spokesperson told us the campus was never in danger. They initially believed the two men involved to be armed, later taking that back. And while St. Edward's was locked down for safety reasons, APD says tonight there's no reason to be worried.
I understand the sensitive nature of that, and with what's happened in the recent past, I don't believe that there's any concern for the public, for the school, for any of the citizens of Austin at this point in time.
The scene here still under investigation tonight. APD do tell us they believe they know one of the two involved in this, but that no one has been taken into custody so far. For now, here in South Austin, I'm Jason Puckett, KVUE News, Nightbeat.
Developing tonight, a state senator faces multiple charges in not one but two criminal cases. A federal grand jury indicted Texas State Senator Carlos Uresti on fraud charges. Authorities say they're working two separate cases, one where Uresti is accused of developing an investment Ponzi scheme. He's also charged with conspiring to pay and accept bribes in order to secure a contract for medical services at a correctional center. In all, he faces 11 counts. Two other political figures currently fighting charges, State Representative Donna Dukes and Attorney General Ken Paxton. Paxton filed an emergency petition last night to ask an appeals court to oust the judge overseeing his criminal case. He's charged with securities fraud, and Dukes is facing 2 misdemeanor charges of abuse of official capacity and 13 charges of felony tampering with public records.
Tonight, the White House is denying another bombshell report. This one claims fired FBI Director James Comey wrote a memo saying President Trump asked him to drop the investigation into his former national security advisor, Michael Flynn. ABC's Kenneth Moten has the latest from Washington.
Another stunning headline involving the Trump White House.
If true, this is yet another disturbing allegation that the president may have engaged in some interference or obstruction of the investigation.
ABC News confirms a source close to fired FBI Director James Comey says Comey wrote a memo in February detailing a White House conversation with President Trump. That source says in the memo, Comey quoted the president, who said Flynn is a good guy. I hope you can let this go. The New York Times first reported the memo was part of a paper trail Comey wanted to leave behind as evidence of what he called improper influence into his investigation. The White House disputing the story in a statement. The president has never asked Mr. Comey or anyone else to end any investigation, including any investigation involving General Flynn. This is not a truthful or accurate portrayal of the conversation between the president and Mr. Comey. Trump has said Comey was fired because he wasn't doing a good job, but admitted the FBI investigation into Russia played a role. Members of Congress reacting. House Oversight Committee Chairman Jason Chaffetz tweeted, "If the memo exists, I need to see it sooner than later. I have my subpoena pen ready."
In a week full of revelation after revelation, on a day when we thought things couldn't get any worse, they have.
If Mr. Comey is alleging the president did something inappropriate, I don't want to read a memo. I want to hear from him.
Lawmakers urging Comey to return to Capitol Hill to share what he knows. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
And scratch Texas Senator John Cornyn off the list of replacements for Comey. He was one of 8 candidates who interviewed for the director's job over the weekend, but today he told the White House that he wants to stay in the U.S. Senate instead. Tomorrow could be the first time we see Kendricks White in court. He's the man accused of going on a stabbing spree at the University of Texas May 1st. The hearing will focus on whether or not he suffers from psychiatric problems. Prosecutors want to know if he's competent to stand trial. White had been involuntarily committed to a psychiatric hospital in the weeks leading up to that attack that killed a student and injured 3 others. Police say they think his mental health played a role in that day on the campus.
A man is in jail tonight accused of Pflugerville's first murder of the year. 18-year-old Robert Uribe is accused of killing 20-year-old Jose Martinez. It happened last Wednesday at the 1825 apartments. Police found Martinez in the parking lot. He'd been shot. He died from his injuries. Investigators also connected Uribe to a robbery at a Round Rock 7-Eleven.
The Austin Independent School District will soon provide extra training for teachers and administrators following a series of assault allegations on AISD campuses. The Nightbeat's Tina Shively is in the newsroom with what we know about the project so far.
Well, Mike, the district plans to roll out the new mandatory student safety training over the summer and hopes to continue it throughout the year for any new employees. The district's chief human capital officer will develop and prepare those training sessions for administrators over the next few months. They will then instruct staff on campus. Training topics will include the educator's code of ethics, appropriate student and employee relationships, and also reporting child abuse and neglect. Superintendent Dr. Paul Cruz says it is a necessary component moving forward to help keep families confident that their students are safe at school.
I want them to talk to their teachers across all of our campuses. I want our parents to talk to our principals. If they have questions, let's get those questions on the table. Let's be responsive. And I want to make sure that we're keeping those lines of communication open.
Dr. Cruz also updated the situation surrounding sexual assault allegations at Boone Elementary School. The accused teacher will return to school next Monday after Travis County District Attorney Margaret Moore decided that there was insufficient evidence to file criminal charges against her. The case drew criticism from parents because Austin ISD police closed the case back in February without first reviewing the girl's full medical report. AISD PD also revealed that they are changing their protocols. 2 detectives will now be assigned to sexual assault cases. In the newsroom, Tina Shively, KVUE News Nightbeat.
Now to the 85th Texas Legislature. Speaker Joe Straus sending a letter to Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick hoping to prevent a special session. Straus wants the Lieutenant Governor to help pass the budget, the only thing the legislature is required to pass. The Speaker also wants to pass a sunset bill that will make sure all Texas agencies keep functioning.
We have time to address this, but I'm sounding the alarm that the time to get serious about budgets is now. I know the Senate has other priorities they've been working hard on, and that's up to them. But in the House, the #1 priority is the bill that we have to pass.
So where is the budget? Well, the Senate sent over its version, the House made changes and approved it, and now select members from both chambers are trying to work out the differences. And there's a major difference. The House wants to tap into the rainy day fund, while the Senate does not. Next Tuesday is the last day for the House to take up Senate bills on second readings, and the last day of the session is May 29th.
Well, we can all probably remember a bad first date, but this one might take the cake.
Yeah, unless you've also been sued over one as well. Why would a would-be beau be taking his date to court?
And watch out, that's tennis champ Andy Roddick making a mad dash. What he's after and why, coming up.
Mild, breezy, and muggy tonight. We're in the 70s, upper 70s here in Austin. Breezy southeasterly winds. Highs today near average in the mid-80s. We do have some thunderstorm chances for your morning commute for tomorrow. Even bigger rain chances late this week into the weekend. That's coming up.
A Houston area preschool will reopen tomorrow after a science experiment injured nearly a dozen students. A teacher at Yellow School Preschool attempted to show how different chemicals make different color flames. But something went wrong. A flash fire injured 11 students and one student was trampled in the moments afterwards. Fortunately, none of the injuries was serious. The fire has been ruled accidental.
From talk about building a wall to the show me your papers law, negative talk about the border is driving away business and hurting the Texas economy. That's why one border city is adding these banners to make Mexican tourists feel welcome. The signs in McAllen read, Amigos always bienvenidos. Mayor Jim Darling says he felt compelled to take proactive steps.
That there's still some resentment about who's going to build the fence and the wall, in particular, kind of the way it was handled in the United States. And so we decided we needed to say, hey, we're friends, we're amigos forever.
The campaign runs through the summer in hopes of attracting more Mexican visitors in time for the fall and winter shopping seasons.
We've all been on a bad date or two, but would you ever sue the person afterwards? It may seem like a silly question, but that's exactly what one Austin man is doing after his date would not stop texting during a movie. The Nightbeat's Brandon Jones joins us now with the story that has a lot of people talking online.
It's a principled action against a person who exhibited really insulting behavior towards me and towards everyone else.
Strong words from a guy left at a movie theater. Brandon Vesmar is doing something unusual, suing a woman for a bad date.
I am fully aware of the weirdness of this situation.
$17.31. That's how much he is seeking in this lawsuit filed on May 11th. Vesmar says he went on a date with the woman he met on Bumble just 7 days before filing the lawsuit. The two decided to see a movie. He says his date wouldn't put down her phone and sent several text messages to a friend during the movie.
But I said, listen, your texting is driving me a little nuts. And she said, well, I can't not text my friend. So I said, well, maybe you can take it outside in the lobby. You know, I've seen people get kicked out of movies for this.
The woman took his advice and left, but never came back.
At this point, I decided to file the lawsuit, and here's why. No personal responsibility. It was the friend, it was the phone, it was you. It's nonsense. It's nonsense.
The two have not spoken since the lawsuit was filed. However, the woman gave us this statement. Vesmar's behavior made me extremely uncomfortable, and I felt I needed to remove myself from the situation for my own safety. I hope one day he can move past this and find peace in his life. Well, Vesmar feels he has. And as for the lawsuit,
Do you think you'll win?
I have no idea.
In Austin, Brandon Jones, KVUE News, Nightbeat.
Well, there are no shortage of comments on this story. One woman writing, no wonder she left him in the theater. What kind of personality must he have to bring such a frivolous lawsuit? Another guy says there are 11-year-olds who've handled this situation with much more dignity. And this comment saying she should countersue because he selected a lousy movie. Wow.
That is a talker, huh?
That is definitely a talker. But
I'm just so glad I'm out of the dating world.
No love connection there.
That sort of thing. Not at all. I wouldn't say a love connection whatsoever. All right, let's join KVUE Chief Meteorologist Albert Ramon for a look at the forecast. And we're looking at some rough weather, especially in the morning.
It looks like rain might be coming for the morning commute.
Absolutely.
Yeah, as we get a little bit closer to sunrise, thunderstorms will reach the I-35 corridor. A lot weaker than where they are right now in western areas of the state. But let's take you hours hour by hour, the best chance of showers and thunderstorms for not just the hill country and the metro, but eastern counties will be in the morning hours. We'll look for more of a partly sunny sky in the afternoon. Just an isolated shower mainly east of Austin tomorrow afternoon, with highs getting into the 80s. Now, those thunderstorms that get going tomorrow morning are getting set up right now. This is a severe thunderstorm watch through the overnight hours, and just off to the southwest of San Angelo, a tornado warning in effect. So these are pretty aggressive thunderstorms right now between Midland, Odessa, and also the San Angelo area. But as they get closer to the I-35 corridor by sunrise tomorrow morning, they're going to weaken in a big way. Let's take you hour by hour. Now, we're talking about a very quiet overnight. We got to go to 5 a.m. until we get something significant on the radar. And at 5 a.m., it's mainly west of Austin in the hill country. As we head towards the peak of rush hour, here's a look at that broken line of showers and thunderstorms moving across the metro, nudging their way into our eastern counties by late morning, and then by the afternoon, other than an isolated shower east of Austin, partly sunny, breezy, and will be in the 80s. As we mentioned, those thunderstorms are going to be a lot weaker than they are right now. 1 or 2 strong storms tomorrow morning, though, can't be ruled out. Another round of rain for Thursday. This time, we'll look for the rain chances to hold off until the evening hours on Thursday. A few of these thunderstorms on Thursday could even be on the strong side. So up to about 1/3 of an inch between now and Thursday night, but more rain is in the forecast. Not so much Friday, but Saturday into Sunday, some pretty solid opportunities of rain. Tonight, best chance of thunderstorms between now and, say, 5 a.m. in the hill country. Otherwise, overcast and 70, and then those rain chances start to move into the metro as we head towards sunrise tomorrow morning. Morning thunderstorms, but partly sunny, breezy in the afternoon. The high temperature tomorrow at 87 degrees. And under the microscope, medium amounts of grass pollen. Look at the mold and that fungus. That's making a lot of you not feel great. That Alton area, that's in the high count. Allergy forecasts found every day in the Statesman. Tonight's KVUE Weather Snapshot comes to us from Lockhart, Texas. Minerva Wallace, great shot of sunset. Love to see your photos. Snapshot at KVUE.com. So numerous opportunities for measurable rainfall over the next couple of days. First things first, tomorrow morning, but quiet in the afternoon. Late day storms on Thursday, small chance of rain Friday, and then we'll up those rain chances Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening as a front moves. Then some of the thunderstorms even on Saturday could be on the heavy side, so that's something that we'll keep an eye on. Very typical to see a wet weather pattern for the last couple of weeks of May, and that's exactly what's happening this year.
Well, we had a beautiful weekend this past weekend. We can have a little rain this one.
Bring on the rain before the dry season starts in about 3 or 4 weeks.
Thanks, Howard.
Well, a tennis champ is running for a very specific goal.
The crazy race against time that will benefit kids this summer. Summer is fast approaching, and with that, so are summer programs run by a tennis legend. Andy Roddick's camps have expanded this summer and will be working with 1,500 kids throughout Austin.
This morning, he tried to get a head start on preparing for the summer. KVUE's Michael Perchik has the story.
It may not be the pressure of the U.S. Open, but trust me, as a guy who tried chasing down Andy Roddick, the Grand Slam champ was taking it plenty serious.
I ran faster than I have in about 5 years, and this was a good reminder of why I retired.
Tuesday morning, Roddick rushed around Sam's Club to collect materials for his summer programs. Working alongside Retail Me Not, the tennis star and members of his foundation had 2 minutes to race around the store.
It was all very strategic on what the kids need. You know, I had to run by a nice batch of steaks that I could only look at.
Although they couldn't fit steaks into the cart, they grabbed just about everything else. Despite his background, he stresses his camps have a far different purpose.
We want to teach life. You know, if that's sports and nutrition, that's great, but just because I play tennis doesn't mean that's what they have to do.
Instead, Roddick is trying to hone a varied skill set.
I think exposure to financial literacy at a young age, tech literacy at a young age, different sort of STEM programs, working in groups. You know, we want them to be able to have a conversation with another person to fix a problem.
It's that sort of engagement and activity that keeps minds sharp and ready to go when they return to school. In Austin, I'm Michael Perchik, KVUE News Nightbeat.
What a great guy. It's wonderful that he runs those camps for all the kids.
Yeah, still got the moves, too, through those aisles.
Yes, he does.
All right, Mike Barnes joins us now. What you got on the
Ready for some moves by Jordan Spieth?
Yeah.
He plays in Dallas. He's at home, but he feels like an old man. You see, imagine being 23 years old and a Grizzly veteran.
He says, my 7th time. That's bizarre.
It is a trip down memory lane with what Jordan hopes for this week when KVUE returns.